one.
Hi, everyone. This is real estate coach Craig Proctor, and thank you for tuning in today. This is the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show, and today from Hollywood, Florida, we have Kristine Zelazo, and I hope I've pronounced that properly, Chris. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful now that I'm here with you. How are you?
Good. Look, I want to thank you so much for being with me here. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got involved with the Craig Proctor system. And then we're going to talk about how you've really gone from having a job as a real estate agent to a team to now, as we can see in your background, you've got your very own Craig Proctor brokerage, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So it's been quite an exciting journey. You've done such a great job, and I want the world to hear your story. So let's talk about how you first heard about me and how you first got involved and what has happened since.
So another agent told me about you. He went to one of your super conferences, and I also got an email from you. And I said, I've got to try this out because I was struggling. I started off at 100% shop, and as the saying goes, you get what you pay for. So I went to your super conference, the next one, and I signed up right after that. I joined coaching in 2019, and I moved up to platinum in 2020, and now I'm in titanium in Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty.
Okay, so you've moved right up the Craig Proctor ladder. Now, when you first came to your the very first Craig Proctor event, what did you notice that was different? Like, what attracted you to kind of go all in and move up the ladder on this?
Because the system makes sense. It's completely unique, and it's different from any other real estate agent out there, how they operate. It's completely unique in the way that you, the way we do the marketing. We also, which is unique, we're completely different than every other real estate agent.
Give me some examples on that. Like how are you able to differentiate yourself like from the other agents? What's so unique about these systems and these offers that you're able to make?
Okay, first of all, I provide the leads and the appointments. And the way I do my marketing is completely different than most other agents. I don't rely on Zillow, Realtor.com, and these third-party companies. I do my own marketing, and which is really a big thing because my results are phenomenal.
Okay, so let me play the devil's advocate here. Because a lot of realtors watching this right now, they're like, well, why wouldn't I just keep doing that? Why wouldn't I keep, door knocking or buying my leads from Zillow? What's wrong with that? Why should I be interested in learning how to generate my own leads or just coming and working with you? And by the way, Chris is in Hollywood, Florida, which is just north of Miami. It's really the suburbs of Miami. So if you're a realtor watching this, and you're in the greater Miami area, you're going to want to really pay attention here, and you're going to want to have a conversation with Chris because what she's got going on here is pretty phenomenal. Here, let me just give you a quick peek of how this works. If you were to partner up with Chris, she provides you not leads, actual listing appointments and buyer appointments. Like she said a minute ago, she's the marketing director. So that means she is an expert. We've trained her to be an expert at direct response marketing, where there's so many leads coming in, no one person could do it all. So Chris has a team. Now, the leads come into the inside sales department. The inside sales department follows up with the leads, qualifies the leads, and then sets buyer appointments and listing appointments for you, for the outside sales agent. So if you were to partner up with Chris, literally, I know it sounds too good to be true, but your number one function all day long is just going to appointments. How much money could you make if you were just going to listing appointment, to listing appointment, to buyer appointment, to listing appointment? And even when you get the listing signed, and by the way, Chris actually gives you the presentations that, we've spent tons of money and time on. So you get that listing, but all the work is done for you at that point. Once the listing is, you take the listing on, you don't got to worry about who's going to put up the sign, who's going to cut the keys, who's going to make the feature sheet, who's going to install the key box. Chris's team takes care of that for you. Now, this is the Craig Proctor team system. This is what Chris saw. When Chris came to the first event, she's like, oh my God, I could have a job as a real estate agent and keep doing this until I can't do it anymore. Or I could create a business here where I am going to be the marketing expert. I am going to generate so much business that I can have an entire team of realtors out there selling way more real estate than I could ever sell as a solo agent. So if you're in the Miami area, you want to reach Chris. What's the best way for realtors to contact you, even if they just want to verify, like, is this the real deal? Is this how Craig explained it?
They can reach me at 786-570-0360. They can also check out my website, listingswithchris.com.
Listingswithchris.com. Now we'll have the information below. We'll type it in below. I'll give you my contact information as well here shortly, because if you're not in Miami, Florida, and you want to do what Chris is doing, I'm going to show you how you can book an appointment with me and my team. It's free. Okay, just like this this video, we're not selling you any here. We're just showing you the most effective approaches to have an awesome business. Now you're going to have to make a decision whether you want to have a team like Chris or you want to be part of somebody else's team. They're really the middle. The middle is moving out of real estate here, folks. The market has changed, and I wrote a book on this many years ago. You can buy it on Amazon. It's called The Death of the Traditional Real Estate Agent and the Rise of the Super Profitable Real Estate Team. So I think we'd all agree it's like really competitive out there. Agents are going to have to decide. Am I entrepreneurial like Chris? Do I want to create my own business, my own team, and eventually my own brokerage, your home sold guaranteed realty, your version of that? Or do you want to be an agent on a super successful, profitable sales team? Okay, you can make a lot of money doing either one. Okay, so you're either going to join a team or you're going to create your own. Is really the future of real estate. It's going to be very, very difficult for the solo agent using, the normal practices of cold calling and door knocking and buying leads on Zillow or all the traditional stuff. It's very difficult to survive. And you guys know that, right? I mean, if you're doing that right now, you know the problem you've got, right? People aren't answering their doors. People aren't answering the phone. They don't want to talk to you. You're positioned poorly. 100% of Chris's business, they come to her, 100%. So
I do know cold calling. These leads are people contact me instead of me contacting them.
Chris, before we got started, I said, what attracts a lot of realtors to Craig Proctor is what they don't have to do anymore. So like Chris said, it is like illegal in Craig Proctor world to knock on doors, cold call, chasing, floor time, traditional open house. All that is completely unnecessary when replaced with smart, modern marketing that attracts, sifts, and sorts the prospects. So that's what happens. Chris comes to the conference. She's like, okay, I get it. See, the thing is, Chris, once you hear this, you can't unhear it. It's like if you left that conference and tried to get it out of your mind, I don't think you would have been able to go back and do traditional real estate anymore.
No.
Right. So that's right. That's my goal here today is like, once you hear this once you see this, you can't unsee it. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Okay. So let's, I'm excited here talking to you, Chris, as you can see. And plus I've had a couple coffees. So Chris, you come to the conference. What was your vision? Like I want to create my own brokerage, or was your vision in the beginning, I just want to, implement this marketing and be as successful as I can as a solo agent? Or did you always know you wanted to create a team?
Well, I always knew that I wanted to create a team, but also I wanted to increase my income. So, and I did within the first year. And matter of fact, each year gets better and better and better.
It's great to know that, isn't it? That every year you've been with me, okay, it's got better and bigger and better and easier for you. And so now you've got great confidence because you've been doing this for so long with me that, okay, I know next year is going to be even bigger and better. And that's because you show up, you implement. I mean, the implementation of this, you show up at all the meetings, you're all in on this. So if you're a realtor watching this right now, and you're like, oh, should I do Craig Proctor? Should I get involved with this? Only if you're going to go all in. I'm not here to take your money. I don't need your money. I'm good. If you're coachable and you want to follow established systems, okay, if you want to know what is working in today's marketplace, then you want to book a call with me. By the way, you can go to proctorcall.com. It's my name, proctorcall.com. We'll type that into the comments below. You book a free call. We'll have a conversation with you. And I promise you, once you hear it, you can't unhear it. So be careful. If you book this call, I will ruin it for you as far as how you're doing it now. It will be an unacceptable idea going back to what you're doing now. And that's what happened to Chris. I kind of ruined it for you. The old way of doing it, you couldn't go back to it. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. You come to the conference, you get excited, you see this thing. What kind of things did you do first to get started? Because everyone wants to know, like, okay, you're successful now. Like, how did you start with Craig? What did you do first?
So I signed up for coaching and I implemented the system. As long as you follow your system, there's no reason why you shouldn't be successful. And so I started following your system. I started pretty much copying what everybody else is doing in your system. And so ever since then, I never looked back.
Like how easy is that? You just had to copy what the other people were doing. You didn't have to. Nobody said, hey, Chris, you got to reinvent the wheel. Nobody said, in fact, we didn't want you to do anything except for copy, just copy. Now, which Craig Proctor coach did you have?
Ernie Van Glan.
Ernie Van Glan. Okay. Tampa, Florida. Okay. So you're in Florida. Ernie, the coach is in Florida. Awesome. Every Craig Proctor member, by the way, gets their own personal, in addition to me, they get their own personal one-on-one coach. Now, I want everyone to understand our coaches successfully sell real estate using the Craig Proctor system. It's not like these other coaching companies where they run an ad saying, would you like to be a coach today? See, most people think coaching is about, accountability or motivation or random ideas. You know what? You want to know what gets Chris fired up? We give her awesome ideas. We don't have to motivate her. That's what's going to motivate you guys. We show you exactly what to do. And we say, don't do it any differently. Just copy the super successful agents. So, Chris, talk about the superstar Craig Proctor members that you've met being inside the Craig Proctor world, and what a tremendous help that's been to your career.
Oh, it's been tremendous. Kristen Stampini and Bill Watson.
Kristen Stampini, Boca Raton, Florida, Bill Watson, Aurora, Colorado. These are members that have been with me, 10, 20 years. So you get to meet with people that are making, some of them, millions of dollars a year, some of them over $1 million a month. And that's hard for people to accept. I mean, does that really happen? Can somebody actually make $1 million in GCI every single month? There's a few things that I said to you at that very first conference. One of the things I said to you is I said, how many homes could you sell if it had nothing to do with you? What did you think, Chris, when you first heard me say that?
I was at first, I was like, it was very intriguing. And so I said, I've got it. I mean, every single day at the conference, I kept telling myself, I'm signing up.
Everything that you want to do is already successfully being done by thousands of Craig Proctor members. That's something else that I said at the conference. I think that gives attendees comfort, knowing that there's nothing, I'm not recreating anything here. Everything I want to do in real estate has already been done by thousands. It's being done by thousands of Craig Proctor members all over the place. Let's switch to goals now. What's your goal? Where do you see this thing going, Chris, over the next couple of years?
So I'm hoping to make quantum leap this year by the end of this year, because I have more than doubled my income. 2023, I'm looking to triple my income. My goal is I would like to make at least $1 million.
$1 million a year. Why not? You see all these
Yes.
other guys that are doing it, right?
Exactly.
Ladies doing it, $1 million a year. And you think that's possible over the next couple of years?
I do.
Okay. You've had growth every year that you've been with us. So
Yes.
a big part of this is I see people as they become successful. It doesn't just change the business; it changes them as people, right? They become more confident. They obviously people are successful and they change who they are. Where would you like to see your team right now? Like who are you looking for that would really help you right now expand?
I'm looking for inside sales agents as well as outside sales agents.
So
And
is the inside sales agent on salary and commission?
yes.
So let's talk about that for a second. This is another unique position inside of Chris's team, the inside sales agent. So we've got basically this is how it works. Chris is at the top. Okay, Chris is the marketing director, obviously owner of the company, and her job is to make it rain. That's what she works on. Chris's responsibility is to generate leads and appointments for the team. Okay, so when you're on Chris's team, actually you're her customer in a way. Like her job is to make sure she's feeding the inside sales agents lots of leads, and the leads are converted to appointments for the outside sales agents. An outside sales agent is not on salary, they're on a commission split, but an inside sales agent gets a base salary plus they get a percentage of the sale. So if you had a bad week, you're still getting paid. Now, obviously, if you have too many bad weeks, you're not there anymore. But we're looking for the right people on the bus here. Okay, we're looking for people that want to do extremely well in real estate. So if you're an inside salesperson, you get a guaranteed salary, plus you get commission. All the leads are supplied to you. Remember what we said a few minutes ago. There's no cold calling or door knocking or any of that nonsense. These are all leads that 100% have come into Chris's office asking for help to buy or sell. You're simply calling the leads back, and this is how it basically goes. If I was one of Chris's inside salespeople, I'd be calling and say, "Hi, John. This is Craig from Chris's office at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. The reason I'm calling is in response to your request for fill in the blank, whatever they requested." So this is direct response marketing at its best. And by the way, are you thinking about making a move? Well, we know they're thinking about making a move because they never requested the thing if they weren't making a move, because what we're offering is only things that real buyers and sellers would be interested in. So I don't know what an analogy of that might be. Like I'm probably not an auto trader today requesting information on cars if I'm not looking for a car, right? I'm probably, Chris, I'm probably not going to go to the barber shop, sit down in the waiting area, and when the barber says next, say, "Oh, no, I'm not here for a haircut." By virtue of the fact I'm sitting in the barber shop, the barber knows he's got a good prospect. This is what we do. This is how we do it here. So we have an administrative team that takes care of all the stuff that you don't want to worry about as a real estate agent. Getting the keys cut, doing the paperwork, broker loading things to MLS, signs, keys, all that stuff. You're not doing that. Folks, if you're in Miami, you want to check this out, okay? Give Chris a call, have a conversation. What's the downside? Let's say you call Chris, you don't like what you hear, whatever. Just keep doing what you're doing, right? Don't have any preconceived notions about Craig Proctor or Chris or why it won't work or why it's not for you. Wouldn't you want to be curious how Chris is able to double up her income every single year? A few years ago, she didn't even know who I was. Okay, now she has her own Craig Proctor brokerage. Okay, a couple years from now, she's going to make $1 million a year. Chris, what was your income the year before you met me?
I'm almost embarrassed to say, about probably 60,000.
60,000. Okay. And you know what? Don't be embarrassed, because that's sort of the average income that a realtor makes in America, about 60,000. Now, people are like, well, it would be hard to make $1 million a year. No, she's going to do it. She's on track. She doubles up next year, double again, next year, triple up. She's going to get to $1 million. She started with me making $60,000 a year. You want to know why? Because she was doing everything they told her to do, right? The old paradigm in real estate, what we're taught in real estate school, what the broker, we look around at all the other agents, and we believe that the answer in this business is just work harder. Well, Chris tried that, right? Knocked on the doors, bought the Zillow leads, did the FSBOs, all that stuff, got her to 60 grand. So I want everyone to ask themselves the following question. If you're where Chris is right now and things aren't going as well as you'd hoped, it's hard to live on $60,000 a year. Wouldn't you guys agree? Now, some of you might think, well, it's hard to make $1 million a year. That's what Chris is on a mission to do. Pick your hard. It's hard to live on $60,000 a year. We could say, well, it's hard to learn how to make $1 million a year. Which one would you rather do? Pick your hard, right? So that's what Chris chose to do. She's like, you know what? I'm going to have to roll up my sleeves. Chris did what most agents won't do. She invested the time and money in getting a good coach. Who's a good coach? Somebody that's actually done this and made millions of dollars. Chris, there's a lot of pretenders out there, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Especially with social media, right? I mean, the barrier of entry to claim that you're a real estate coach or guru or expert is you simply say you're one. If you want to be a better golfer, folks, you better find someone that's really been a really great golfer. If you want to learn how to play tennis, you better find somebody that's an excellent tennis player. If you want to make millions of dollars selling real estate, you come to me. Okay, don't mess around with the pretenders, the fakers, and the frauds. You come to Craig Proctor. Now, I'm going to recommend that you reach out to Chris here. Okay, there's no downside. It's a conversation. Okay, talk to her about, okay, how does it work? How does it start? Now, you may be in a different part of the country, and you might be inspired by this. Okay, and you might say, oh, I want to do what Chris is doing. Well, then you book a call with me at proctorcall.com. It's a free call. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm going to explain how this works. Now, you're either going to get this like Chris did. Like Chris is like, her eyes light up. She's like, okay, I've got it. It was impossible. Be careful now. I'm going to warn everybody. If you do the call with me, you'll never be able to go back to what you're doing now. I'm going to ruin that for you. I wrecked it for Chris. You can't go back and it would be an imagine that tomorrow, Chris, if I said, hey, Chris, starting tomorrow, you just got to forget everything we taught you. You're going to go back to door knocking and cold calling and buying leads from Zillow and calling people that say, oh, no, I didn't request that.
I couldn't imagine.
Couldn't imagine it, right?
No.
And it's funny because when you were doing it, you actually believed it was the thing to do, right?
Right.
These are paradigms, guys. How many times in your life, everyone watching this, can you relate to you just didn't see something, right? If you look back at your life, it's like it's so obvious to you now, but at the time you didn't see the opportunity. Maybe right now it's one of those opportunities. You've heard about me. Been doing this for over 30 years. I've helped over 30,000 agents like Chris. Chris came to a conference. She moved up to coaching. She moved up to platinum. She moved up to titanium. She has her own Craig Proctor brokerage, all in a short period of time. She was making $60,000 the year before she met me. What are we talking about now, Chris? Making $1 million a year. So we're going to have skeptics here. We'll have some haters like, oh, that's, Chris is probably, it's probably Craig's cousin, right? Guys, check it out, okay? Check this out. Get some information on this. Do your research if you want to get some help, okay? There's lots of people playing you. See, here's the problem in real estate. as a real estate agent, you've got to have all your information public, right? You everywhere, you're public, your email address, your cell number, you have to make it public. So you're victimized by everyone trying to sell you stuff. So you've got this built-in protection layer, because every day realtors are being just beat on with they're trying to sell you the latest, greatest CRM or software package. Or it's funny, Chris, because real estate agents always think that there's some like special little software or something that's going to be the answer to the problems. What they need is a system.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about what this system is. We've used the word system. I'm going to give you, like I gave Chris, a lead generation system. We call it ARPS. If you want to write it down, it's ARPS. You might be, well, what the hell is ARPS? ARPS stands for an automatic reverse prospecting system. Okay. This is where you never make another cold call again. You run the Craig Proctor lead generation system. This isn't Zillow. This isn't Realtor. This is nothing like that at all. You have a lead generation system. Now, this is a game changer right away, because you guys are good agents, but you got no one to sell to, right? And if it takes all your money and time chasing them, no, you want to spend your time working with the buyers and sellers. That's what the lead generation system does. And then we give you the conversion system. You can generate leads. You don't know how to convert them and turn them into appointments and money in the bank. Generating leads is a waste of time. Now, so Chris starts with this, and she's like, yeah, this is working. So Chris is doing the calls, and she's running out on the appointments. See, Chris is like doing the lead generation, and then she's doing the calling of the leads, and then she's running out with the buyers and sellers. So it works. But Chris is like, well, holy cow, I'm out now with all these buyers and sellers. I can't keep up with all the leads. That's when she knew I got to grow the team. She had this epiphany, this vision that if I just replace myself, and I'm not doing the administrative things, and I'm not the inside sales agent, and I'm not the outside sale, how many houses could we sell if I just had to focus on bringing the business in? Well, Chris, we're going to find out over the next couple of years, aren't we?
Yes.
And I know one thing, Chris, when you get to $1 million, your target will be $2 million, right? That it'll keep moving because you've got the formula, right? There is no limit to this, right? You're going to ramp it up with the systems and people in place. I'm going to repeat what I said a few minutes ago. This is a question for all of you. How many homes could you sell if had nothing to do with you? Get your head around that. If you were an outside sales agent and you were part of Chris's team, here's how this deal works. Chris invests an enormous amount of time every week coaching and training you on what to do and say when you meet with the buyers and sellers. We give you the presentations so you're super effective, so you get the listing signed. And then Chris would say, well, let us know when you're available this week, right? So if you're like, well, Thursday, I'm going to do something with my kids, you book yourself out. But if you're not booked out, that tells Chris's team you're booked in, okay? So you've got some flexibility. You want to take Saturday off or whatever, but if you're available, we're going to book you with buyer appointments and listing appointments. You will literally just go from appointment to appointment to appointment to appointment to appointment, and then you bring back those listings. You don't have to worry about who's going to install the sign, who's going to take the pictures, who's going to get the keys cut, all done for you. How much money could you make if you were an outside sales agent and you were just listing houses all day long? And you might think, well, that sounds too good to be true. Or why wouldn't Chris go out on all the listings? Because she can't.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. She's got the opposite. I know it sounds ridiculous. So if you're sitting where Chris was before she met me, making $60,000 a year, it's a lot to take in, right? It's like, well, this sounds too good to be true. Call Chris. She doesn't have a horse in this race. Check it out. Do not, let that old paradigm, your old belief system, get in the way of you just contacting her and saying, okay, like, is this true? if I worked for you? Like, does it really work this way? And again, if you're not in the Miami area and you want to do what Chris is doing, just contact me. Book a free, no obligation. We call it a breakthrough call. Go to proctorcall.com. My name, Proctor. It's OR at the end. Proctor Call, no space, proctorcall.com. We'll have all this information in the link below. Okay, call Chris, call me, but do something with this information, guys. Or you can say, yeah, it's probably not real. It's not for me. We hear this one a lot, right, Chris? My marketplace is different. That might work in Miami, but it wouldn't work over here. Or if you're in Miami, you might play this head game. Well, you know, I probably could make more money joining Chris's team, but I do okay here. You know, I don't want to lose my identity. I don't want to lose my independence. You will be more independent. If you come and you team up with Chris, you'll be more independent. Didn't you get into real estate for freedom? That's what you thought, right? That's what we all believe when we get into real estate is, hey, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to have more time and I'm going to have freedom. Okay, so here's what happened. Either you started with this and you failed, you got lots of time, you got no money, or you started with this, doing it the traditional way, and you door knocking, cold calling, weekends, and now you're making okay money, but you're working all the time. That's not freedom. How many of you are in the success trap? We talk to realtors all the time, Chris, right? They're making a couple $100,000 a year and they're divorced. They can never do anything except for work. We call that the success trap. You know, the money is good, but you're trapped in a lifestyle that you don't like. Folks, this is the ticket out. Reach out to us, okay? We put our contact information below and let's book a call. Let's have a conversation. What's the downside, right? You don't like it, just keep doing what you're doing. But you wouldn't be here right now watching Chris and I. You wouldn't still be here if you were happy with how things were going, right? You're not satisfied. There's something in you, a little spark, like there was with Chris, sitting in the conference room, a little spark, and I put a little gasoline on the spark, and boom, Chris's eyes light up, and yeah, it's never been the same for Chris. And we're going to keep growing this, and we're going to keep building this. So whether you do something or not, it's not going to affect my life or Chris's. She's going to keep going on her journey to $1 million a year. More money, more time, more freedom, giving back to charity, living her life. How about you? Why don't you join us? Why don't you at least check it out? So Chris, final thoughts here before we wrap up this awesome interview.
So, I mean, one of the things that we're doing that's really helpful is we're bringing, for an example, one of my OSAs met with a buyer yesterday, and I'm just going to give you this example, how he's been working with a few other agents for 2 years. And he already likes a property that my OSA showed him, and he's going to take a look at it. And if all goes well, he's going to make an offer. And this was after 2 years, because we don't just send out properties willy-nilly like your average agent. We actually care about our customer, and we make them customers for life.
There's a huge referral part to this as well. If we had time, we would get into worthy cause referring, our referral system. One of the biggest battles that the traditional real estate agent fights is obscurity. You know, Chris was always a good agent. She just needed the marketing system to get out there with a very powerful message, okay? That applies to you folks watching this right now. People can't do business with you if they don't know who you are and they don't understand what makes you different and better. Let us solve that for you. Look at the name of Chris's company. You know, it's not Century 21. It's not Coldwell. It's Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. There's a benefit even in the name of the company. Google that, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Look at how many searches there are. What's the number one thing the seller wants? I want to get my house sold. I'm going to call Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Folks, check this out. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts on this. If you want to book a call with me, again, it's proctorcall.com. We're going to have Chris's information there below. Reach out to us and let's start a conversation. Chris, I want to thank you so much for being here today. Anything else you want to add?
I do. I want to tell you that I've been to other conferences before I met you, and they don't even light a candle to you. So they're just all these other coaches. First of all, they've never done real estate before. All they do is tell you to cold call, cold call, cold call. That's all they tell you to do. So this is, I mean, this is what sets you apart from these other people that pretend to be coaches.
Yeah, I don't know how somebody that's actually never had a real estate license can proclaim themselves to be an expert at showing you how to make $1 million being a real estate agent. That would be literally, that would be like me tomorrow, being all over the internet, proclaiming to be a coach for heart surgeons when I've never been a doctor and I've never performed surgery. Folks, having a coach, a mentor really matters. But who that person is matters a lot. Okay. Who is your coach? Who is your mentor? Who's helping you and coaching you and showing you someone that's actually successfully done this, or somebody that has never, ever been successful, never made millions of dollars selling real estate? You've got to hang around with people that are doing and have done this. And that's right here. So I want to thank everybody for being with us. Chris, again, thank you for an awesome interview.
Thank you.
Let us know how you enjoyed this. Again, proctorcall.com, book a call with me, connect with Chris, and let's get the conversation rolling. Thank you very much, Chris, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you
you
for
soon.
watching the Craig Proctor Real Estate.